Welcome back to another day in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and happy birthday to the King of Malaysia, the Yang di Pertuan Agong. The country celebrates his birthday today. I think there is an extravagant celebration up at the Istana Negara, the National Palace today, but I think you have to be invited and wear very nice clothing to attend that event, so I won't be going there. And I did read that there was a celebration of some kind at Merdeka Square, which is quite near to where I am right now, but I couldn't find out what time any of this was happening. I might pop over there to take a look and see what's going on. I might also do some shopping today. So I went to an ATM and I withdrew some money from HSBC behind me, my favorite bank. And I was going to give kind of a security travel tip. And that tip is that after you go to an ATM using your ATM card, you might want to put your card back in your wallet and put it back in your pocket, because that's just sort of habit and instinct, but that's not a good idea. You should then put your ATM card away somewhere more secure. Right now, the most secure place I have is in my knapsack, so that's where I put it. The thing is that your wallet, if you use a wallet, is the most insecure thing you have. You know, a pickpocket could get it out of your pocket, or you could leave it behind on the counter at a 7-Eleven or something like that. So with your wallet, the best thing to do is just have enough money in your wallet to last you for the day, and that's it. Just use it as a daily cash dispenser and put nothing else in it, because anything you put in the wallet, you risk losing it. So that's my security tip. And I was thinking about that at the time as I was walking away from the ATM. I just got to the doors and I was heading outside the bank, and I realized I'd left my GoPro on top of the ATM. So don't listen to me for security tips, because I'm the guy that almost lost his GoPro by leaving it behind at the bank. Luckily I remembered and I raced back, and it was still there. Not filming though, I didn't have it recording. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself sometimes. This is a perspective on Masjid Jamek that I don't often get, because I'm usually walking far around in that direction, so I'm not often here right above the river. This is all part of the River of Life project, all these walkways you see. And you get a very nice view of the mosque here, and then the bank buildings behind it. And the Klang River. I'm approaching Merdeka Square, which is the Independence Square of Kuala Lumpur, and it's surrounded by many historic buildings, and it's a tourism hotspot for Kuala Lumpur. I just want to see whether they're setting up for any kind of a celebration of the King's birthday. This is the square here, and there's the giant flagpole, the flag of Malaysia at the top. And it looks like they're setting up for something. This road is not normally blocked off like this. You know, they have it blocked off on this end and that end as well. And I see some tents over here. I believe the King's birthday is celebrated with a kind of military parade, and that's why this area might be blocked off. Perhaps the parade is going to come through here. But I find I do have these problems with local holidays and festivals. I often see that there is a holiday and that there is a festival and there are celebrations, but then when it comes down to actual details of when and where, I think a lot of that information is published in local media, and somehow I always miss it. So even though I know that there is or was a celebration here at Merdeka Square, I don't know if it already happened or is it scheduled for later this afternoon. I don't really know. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to see the parade. I just saw a poster for this event, September 9th, 2019. And maybe it's taking place at 2:41. I'll show you what I'm looking at. There's the poster, or the sign, and down here it has a date with 1441H. And I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm guessing that's 2:41. And that probably means that these numbers have a special meaning, 441. Why else schedule it for that exact time and not, 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 2:30? So 1441 probably has some significance here that I'm not aware of. With this wide open street, it's selfie heaven today. Everyone is busy taking selfies in front of the scenic buildings here. There's a selfie group up ahead. And a real photographer, he's getting down on his knees and angling his camera upwards. Get the best angle on that building. I talked about this in a couple of other videos, I think. But in case you're interested, here is the history of Merdeka Square. You can pause the video and read the whole history. But basically, the Malaysian flag was raised here for the first time on August 31st, 1957. And that, as they say, signified the end of British rule over Malaya and the end of colonization. It was the independence of Malaya. My intention in coming here today wasn't to explore Merdeka Square. I've been here quite a few times in the past, in fact, but I've never taken a close look at this fountain before. It's quite an interesting fountain with the series of gargoyles. I guess I'm calling them gargoyles, but I'm not quite sure what they are. They're winged lions of some kind. I don't know if that is a Malaysian symbol. I know that the Malayan tiger is the national animal, but I don't know about these creatures here, what they mean. I was here at the square with someone else that I met recently. You know who you are. And he was telling me that his father was directly involved with the design and construction of this flagpole. And one thing he told me, one secret, is that there is a ladder inside this flagpole, inside the tower there. And if you have the keys, you can go inside here and inside the tower and then climb up inside to get to that point in the middle in case you need to do maintenance on the lighting system or the flag itself. He also told me that this flagpole's design was unique at the time and a new innovation in that the flag is attached with kind of a revolving bearing at the top so that as the wind blows, the flag moves around the pole with the wind. It doesn't wrap around the pole and get torn and things like that, as what happens with many other flags. I think that system is quite common now, but when this flagpole was designed, it was a brand new innovation. Might have even been used here for the first time. Of course, no visit to anywhere in Kuala Lumpur is complete without construction. And there's some kind of project going on here, renovate this area. And it looks like they're replacing some of the tiles somewhere. Wow, that's very cool. Very solid. And probably quite valuable, I would think, to having all these tiles out here. Might be a target for some unsavory people who need tiles. But they would need a very strong back and a big truck in order to get away with this stuff. It's interesting, these tiles come delivered in these wooden crates. And can't even imagine how heavy one of these is. Oh, these ones are a slightly different color. Got white ones over here, and these ones have a yellowish coloring. And then maybe even a different color here, kind of a white with interesting marbling there. Huh. You never know what you're going to come across when you're walking around Kuala Lumpur. In this whole area, they are using tiles, but either they finished repairing this or it doesn't need repairs. Wow, and then some big tiles here. Had I known I was going to walk around Merdeka Square, I would have done some research, but I didn't. So I don't really know what this building is. The Perpustakaan Kuala Lumpur. And it looks like this is where most of the renovation is happening. They're putting down tiles out here. I remember coming here quite a long time ago. This is the gallery. It's kind of, I think it's a free sort of museum about Kuala Lumpur and tourist sites here. And of course they have the giant heart for selfies there. You got to get past this barrier to get over there. Unfortunately, the parade at Merdeka Square isn't happening for hours and hours from now. So we'll see if I'm in the neighborhood later on, I'll come back and take a look at it, but I'm not sure about that. My plan for right now is to go to the Mid-Valley Megamall to do a little bit of shopping. There is a nice GoPro store there, and I've been thinking about getting a mount to put so that I can put the GoPro on handlebars, either of a scooter if I rent a scooter sometime, or on my own bicycle. And I've done a bit of shopping around, and the official GoPro mount seems to be pretty good. It's probably more expensive than third-party mounts, but I think that's the one I'm going to get. And while I'm at Mid-Valley Megamall, I'm probably going to drop by the Osprey store there and take another look at their backpacks. I went to look at one of their backpacks at K2 Adventure the other day. Unfortunately, they only had one there. They only had one of the large sizes in stock, and it was kind of a gray-black one. And I'm sort of in the mood for a bit more color, I think. So I want to see what other colors might be available. And I want to take another look at it to see whether the size is enough for me. And that's actually kind of funny because after my trip to K2 Adventure Store, I went online and I was looking at reviews, of the best travel backpacks on the market today. And before they get into the reviews of each individual bag, they often give a little essay about what to look for in a bag. And they all say the same thing, of course, that smaller is better. And they say maximum size for everybody should be 55 liters, and they say even that one is just too big for most people. And here I am looking at the 80-liter bag, and my problem with that bag is that I think it's too small for me. So I'm going against the expert advice that I found online. Just to get a better idea about how big or small this backpack is, I brought along my duffel bag. I brought this duffel bag to Myanmar, and it's quite a large one, I think. And it was large enough for me to carry all of my gear plus some extra stuff. And I have it all folded up in my knapsack. So I'm going to take it out when I get to the store and compare it to the Osprey backpack. Just put it on the ground and line it up and try and judge whether the volume of this Osprey really is 80 liters or not. To my eye, it looks quite a bit smaller than 80 liters when you start filling it up, but we'll see. The other part of this adventure is that I think I'm going to try to go to Mid-Valley Megamall by bus. I used the Move It app to figure this out, and they told me that I can take bus 700 from Pasar Seni at platform G, and that will take me to Mid-Valley Megamall. Though I checked the Move It app a second time, and the second time I checked, it said I should take bus 781. So I'm not sure which is right, 780 or maybe both of them. Oh, and there's 781 right there. Looks like these guys are trying to figure out what bus to take as well. Oh, it looks like it does. KL Central, Mid-Valley. The funny thing is that I don't even know how to pay to use one of these buses. I'm assuming I can use my touch and go card, but I've never done it. Crazy as that sounds, I've never really ridden a bus here and tried to use the touch and go card. Yeah, it's noisy here. Better back up a little bit. And if you do use your touch and go card, how do you scan it? Do you scan it going into the bus and then again when you get out? I'll have to find out when I get on the bus. I'm on bus 781 now. I was filming me getting on the bus and using my touch and go card, but I guess I forgot to press record, so I didn't actually record the moment of me getting on the bus. I asked the driver if we were going to Mid-Valley Megamall, and he said yes. So I'm just going to plot us on Google Maps and see where we go. Got a bit of a noisy bus. I think the seats are rattling behind me. Man, it's coming apart. I better get out my phone and see where we're heading. Rattle, rattle. So far, so good. We're heading through Little India, and we're heading in the direction of Mid-Valley. looks like we're heading over the Klang River. And Mid-Valley is sort of in that direction, behind all those huge buildings. I didn't expect this. We got onto kind of a highway system. After crossing the Klang River, we did a loop, and now we're on a highway. Still heading in the right direction though. Yeah, the next stop, it might be Mid-Valley, I'm not sure. We're getting very close. I think it is. Oh. I think I get out here.
Yes, have a nice day.
Yeah, you too. Oh. Oh, shoot. Oh. I was so focused on wondering whether this was my stop or not, I just jumped out of the bus and I didn't scan my touch and go card again. Was I supposed to? Probably. So I don't know what's going to happen after that. The next time I use my card in the MRT, it'll probably pop up and say something went wrong and I'll have to get them to fix it. Okay. Time for another map check to figure out where I am. Oh, there it is over there. Mid-Valley, I can just see the sign, but none of that looks familiar to me. But I think I see a pedestrian access here. And maybe I have to walk across this bridge to get to a Mid-Valley Megamall. I'll check my map and I'll report back. After checking my map, I don't know. I know how to get from here to Mid-Valley, I think. That shouldn't be that hard. But I don't know whether I got off at the right place. Maybe there was a better bus stop further down the line. We'll see in a minute how this works out. No, I think I'm okay. I think I'm right beside the KTM Mid-Valley train station, which is how I would normally come here if I don't walk from Bangsar. And then from the KTM station, yeah, you just follow the bridge right into the mall. So that worked out okay. I think when I go back to Pasar Seni, I'm just going to take the KTM train just to mix it up a little bit and make this a whole video about transportation. Again, this is kind of a weird thing. I mean, I am a official pedestrian following an official pedestrian sidewalk, and it brings you to right here, and there's no way to get across. Like no opening on the other side. And check out all of the cars coming off the highway. So I really have no choice but to walk out into traffic and just stop them. All right. And then you walk beside the traffic until you get to the opening down here, I guess. Which is not the safest thing to do. It's okay for me, obviously. But I mean, if you were, a parent pushing a child in a stroller or something, you wouldn't really want to face that along your way. So pedestrians generally get forgotten here in Kuala Lumpur. Here is the KTM train platform, just down there. So I've often come here by train, and then you get out of the train and then just walk up here. And then you take this escalator up to the bridge, and that takes you right there into that yellow building, which is the Mid-Valley Megamall. I guess I just like saying Mid-Valley Megamall. Megamall, Megamall. As I was getting on bus 781 back at Pas Arseni, I noticed another man that was getting on the bus. He was looking intently at some papers, like he had a schedule or directions on the paper. But then he kept looking at me as well, you know, over and over again he was looking in my direction. And I thought maybe he wanted to help me out because obviously I looked lost, you know, a tourist who has no idea where he's going. But then he did eventually speak to me on the bus, and he said he recognized me from YouTube. And he said, you know, hey, are you the guy with the videos about GoKL and monorails and stuff like that? He says, yeah, that's me. And he got me just at a time when I'm in another form of transportation, the RapidKL bus, making another video. So he must think I'm obsessed with transportation. Apparently I am. Oh, this is the entrance into the Megamall. Despite it being the King's birthday, it is open for business. As with most malls, I do tend to get a bit lost in here. The whole mall is set up on a series of 3 courtyards. There's a central courtyard, and then I think a north one and a south one. And when you come in this side, you're at the north court. Here it is here. There's the north court. The mall goes up 2 or 3 levels. So I've learned that when you come into this mall, if you come in an entrance and you want to go out the same entrance, use it as an exit, you better remember what court you entered at. So if you want to exit to go to the KTM station, to take the train somewhere, make sure you head for the north court and then go out that exit. I usually arrive at the center court or the central court because I generally walk here from Bangsar MRT station. I might even do that to head back to Pas Arseni. There is a manga susu stand on that route, and maybe I can get one of those along my way. And if I can rant for a little bit, this is something I've encountered a lot at all these malls. If you do find a map, I find them really difficult to figure out. I mean, the first problem, of course, is that the maps themselves have nothing on them. Like, there's almost no names of any stores. And that's kind of understandable because there's so many stores, there isn't enough room to put the names in there. But that's really kind of a problem. They should have the names of the stores on the maps, and that would make it so much simpler. But you're supposed to find it using these codes, which make no sense to me at all. For example, maybe I want to find the Z Kingdom. It's S017. Why is it labeled that way? I don't get it. I mean, this is the lower ground, second floor, third floor, first floor. So why doesn't the code tell me what floor it's on? So even though I know it's S017, I now have to look all over the place to find the letter S. Okay, here's an S. Oh, that's for the southern court. There's a P. I have no idea what that means. Let's pick another one. Okay, here's the Ampawa Thai Tea and Company on T045. Okay, T. What does that mean? What does T mean? What floor is it on? Why doesn't it say the floor number and then the location? I don't understand what these letters are for. Okay, this is S. So these are all S's. Okay, S's. Oh, does that stand for second floor? These are T's. Oh, third floor. So T is third floor. And F. Oh, okay. F is first floor. But what if they had a fourth floor? Would they do another F if they had the fourth floor? Okay, so that kind of makes sense. F is first floor, S is second floor, and T is third floor. Well, I never knew that before. That makes a little bit more sense, but I still don't like it. They should really just put the number of the floor on there. And what I don't like, the last point, is that they have all the stores grouped by category. Homes, leisure, sundry and services, luggage, information technology, food and beverages. And some of those things make sense, but you kind of have to guess what category your store is in order to find it. I would like to also have like an alphabetical listing. While I was looking at the sign there, ranting, those women you see there now, they came up, they're looking for a specific store, and they looked on the legend and it told them to go to S and then a number, and they didn't know what to do either. They were looking all over the map, like where is S? Where is S? They couldn't find any S's anywhere until they saw the south courtyard, but that didn't make any sense, and they could not figure out what was going on either. So I jumped in and I explained to them that S stood for second floor. And they were like, oh. And they said how dumb that was. It's just like a really dumb system. And then the categorizing makes no sense to me either, because I want to go to the Osprey store where they sell luggage, you know, backpacks and that kind of thing. But when you look at the luggage category on that map, there's no Osprey. So you have to figure out from the point of view of whoever designed the map, what is the Osprey store? Is it a luggage store? Is it a travel store? Is it a camping store? Is it a leisure store because travel and tourism is a leisure activity and backpacks are meant for hiking? I don't know. So I looked all over that map and I could not find Osprey anywhere. Maybe it's not even on the map at all, but of course, the best solution would be to have them listed alphabetically as well as sorted by category. 2 listings perhaps, but if I had to pick one, I'd go for the alphabetical listing because I generally know what I'm looking for. The Osprey store, or if there's a particular camera store, I know the name of it and I can find it in an alphabetical listing, but I can't read the mind of the guy who organized this thing and where he categorized the store. So putting all of that together, I usually just ignore those maps all together. I never even look at them anymore because I'll end up spending 5 minutes poring over the map, and at the end of it, I'll still have no idea where to go. Well, I arrived at Center Court. There is Center Court in all its glory. And I guess today they have a big Dior display. First stop is the Osprey store to look at my backpacks. And I don't really remember where it is. I kind of just have to wander around from floor to floor until I just stumble across it. You'd think I would know this by now, but I don't. I have a general idea of its location, but I'm not thinking that clearly today. I thought it was over here, but I don't see it anywhere. So we're just going to keep walking around, see if we stumble across it. Luckily, you can look up a little bit on the floor above you and the floor below, so I can kind of scan all the floors as I walk along this one. This is Doug from the future, at least as far as that video is concerned, and I wanted to give a short epilogue. The video ended abruptly there in the Mid-Valley Megamall because, like a dummy, I forgot to bring my extra batteries for the GoPro. My battery died and I wasn't able to finish the video about my shopping expedition for a new backpack. The reason I forgot the batteries is because I carry them in this little blue pouch right here, and I happen to have all of my gear bags spread out over my room here at the guest house, and I generally pack up my knapsack with all the little bags that I need. And in this case, I was moving too fast and I forgot to pack the batteries because it was hidden underneath the sheet on my bed, and I totally forgot to bring them. So the video never got completed because my battery died. And I wasn't going to post this video at all because, as you can tell, it was done on the King's birthday here in Malaysia, which was September 9th, which was, you know, about a week and a half ago now, or maybe 2 weeks ago, depending on when I post this video. But later on, as I was reviewing the video clips, I realized that there were some things in there that I wanted to put up on my channel. For one thing, it was my first experience on a RapidKL bus, and I thought I should record that for posterity, since I'm working my way through all the different RapidKL and other transportation networks in Kuala Lumpur. So I really thought I should make a record of my first time using a RapidKL bus and trying to get on and off with my touch and go card and trying to figure everything out. Plus, even though it didn't end up in this video, I left the Mid-Valley Megamall that day with a backpack. And it's probably going to be a big part of my life from now on, especially as I head to Myanmar in the next couple of weeks. And I'm going to talk a lot about this backpack, so I thought I should at least record the beginning of the story when I went to the Mid-Valley Megamall to look at the backpacks at Osprey. And after checking all of the ones over, I walked out of that store with a backpack, and spoiler, it was not the backpack I went in there to look at. It was a completely different one, and I'm quite excited about it, and I'll probably make a complete video going over this backpack and all the features that it has. I'm a bit of a gearhead. I like new gear and new technology. So that is about it, a little epilogue for this incomplete video from Kuala Lumpur. And I hope you can forgive me for not knowing what the number 1441H meant. I wasn't aware of this calendar. If you watched the whole video, you know that I thought 1441 meant the time that the parade was going to happen, that it was going to take place at 2:41, you know, 1441 being the 24-hour, you know, clock for 2:41. But of course I found out later that that's actually the year according to the Islamic Hijri calendar. So that was something that I learned on this trip anyway. So that's the end of this video. Sorry I couldn't finish it. I have a new system now for bringing my GoPro batteries and all my other gear, and I actually talk about it in, I think, the video that will be coming up after this one. So you can see how I tried to solve my problem, and hopefully I will never forget my GoPro batteries in the future. Well, thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. The Farpoint Trek backpacks are a new series from Osprey. I think they came out in early 2019. Osprey designed the Trek series to be a kind of hybrid backpack. So it's half for mountaineering and hiking, like full-on camping expeditions, and half for backpacking and travel, like going through train stations, bus stations, airports, and hotels. It takes the features of a good hiking backpack and the features of a good travel backpack and tries to bring them together into one.